friends, it's Jasmine, and I hope that you all are doing well. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am a practicing witch and high priestess, and I make fun witchy content here on YouTube, showcasing some of my personal spell work, my thoughts, my opinions on things when it comes to the craft. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. You guys, please make sure to give this video a like if you liked it, and leave a comment down below telling me, what you think of today's topic. Today's topic, I'm going to be talking about the power of scent. And by the way, I apologize if you can hear my dogs barking in the background. So often when I go to record, they decide that that's the time that they need to be the most vocal. Today's video, I really wanted to talk about the power of scent and using the sense of scent in our magics, especially when it comes to more of a vampiric perspective, energy vampirism and the left-hand path, and using scent as a way to kind of enhance yourself, your own aura, your magic, and using it as a way to kind of uplift and empower you. You can also use scent as a way to manipulate the energy fields around you, as well as other people's perspectives of you. Scent is something that is really good and helpful to use in a lot of glamour spells and glamour magics. And I don't just mean glamour in like the glitz and glam, though I'm including that in this. When I'm talking about glamour spells, I'm more saying kind of this occult philosophy and idea when it comes to magic, where a glamour is where you make one thing appear like something else, or you take one thing and enhance its image. So it's really more about working with the idea of perspective and people's perspectives of you and of your energy. It's kind of what I mean when I'm talking about glamour spells. However, I love the glitz and glam too, and you can definitely include this powerful sense as well in your physical, earthly glamours, and I encourage you to think about how you can do so. Kind of speaking more from a Sihr, this is Arabian conjure, and also more from like an energy vampire or a vampiric perspective, using scent in a baneful way. There are a ton of videos online about aromatherapy, and if you are interested in learning more about the power of aromatherapy and what aromatherapy can do for you, I encourage that you check out some videos here on YouTube, or even look into some literature as well. I can see about linking some down below in the description bar if you're interested in reading more about the science behind aromatherapy. Aromatherapy is something that can be used for healing and for uplifting the mood. It can be used for energizing the body and the mind. But aromatherapy and the power of scent also has baneful purposes as well. And as a witch who I tend to consider myself kind of a both-hand witch or an ambidextrous witch, meaning that I definitely have some right-hand path leanings, I have some left-hand path leanings, I practice multiple different styles of magic, and so to me, it's a day-to-day thing on which hand I'm using. But in my practice, something that is virtually an everyday thing would be incense of some variety. Now, I might light a stick of incense to kind of start my day off after I've made my coffee, brushed my teeth, and as I'm getting ready, I will typically light some incense. But something else that I often do is I will light up my bakor. And this is something that I've gotten a lot of questions on in some of my videos. Some of you have seen my bakor in some videos, and so I wanted to show it to you, and I kind of wanted to talk about it because I keep getting questions about what is that? You guys look at it, you see it, you're interested in it. And this is something that is pretty primarily based within Sihr. And, if that's not something that is in your lens or in your perspective, then you may not necessarily recognize this, but it's essentially a censer or a burner. And you don't have to have a bakor to do what I'm going to talk about. This is a Bakor. This is one of my Bakors. And as you can see, it's just a nice, simple gold Bakor. You'll often find these with crescent moons or the symbol of Islam on the Bakor as well, representing the Fertile Crescent and, you know, the religion of peace. But I am not a practicing Muslim, and I use this for other purposes. And I do use this for prayer work as well, and for talking to God, absolutely. Prayers, all of that, meditation, sure. But I also use this in other ways that are not necessarily Abrahamic. Like I use this for vampiric magics. I use this for conjure as well. This is my Bakor. Now this particular Bakor is one that you can actually get on Amazon. I will see about linking it down below. I believe it comes in silver, rose gold, and gold. And I've had this particular Bakor for about a year. You can see that I've gotten a lot of use out of it. Some of the metal there has kind of tarnished, but this is what a Bakor looks like. It's just a censer. This particular Bakor does come with a pair of tweezers, which this is really nice because this lid gets very, very hot. And so it's nice to be able to lift up to add more oud, which oud is what you burn inside of a Bakor, okay? So, you can use the tweezers to kind of lift this up because the lid gets hot, but also you use the tweezers for the coals because this is something where you are burning stuff on top of coals. You can see my last coal is actually still in here. So you would put a coal in there, and then you put your oud on top, and then you put this there, and then you can kind of blow on it, and then smoke will sort of waft up from the Bakor. So real quick, just some vocabulary here. This is called a Bakor. A Bakor. So this is a censer or a burner. Now, you don't have to have a Bakor to do this. There are different types of Bakors. There are ones like this, but there are also electric Bakors as well, if you're more interested in that. However, you can also just use an incense censer. You could use a cauldron. This is one of my little incense censers that I actually use as an offering dish, but you could definitely put a charcoal in here, and you could use this to burn oud as well. This is one of my cast iron cauldrons, and you could also use this to burn oud in as well. You do not have to have a Bakor. You could even use a black bowl and fill some of this up with some salt and some sand and put your coal in here and burn your oud from a black bowl as well. So what I'm trying to say is a Bakor like this one is entirely optional, and you do not need to have a Bakor in order to weave any sort of this magic. I personally like to use my Bakor because one, it's very pleasing to me aesthetically. I really enjoy it. And two, it connects me on an ancestral and cultural level to sort of liminal spaces and power that I want to tap into. But you do not have to use this. You could use anything that you want to use. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is oud. Oud is what is burned typically in a Bakor, but I've definitely also burned just loose incenses or resins as well. You don't necessarily have to just burn oud in a Bakor. You know, anything that you can burn in a charcoal, you can burn in a Bakor. Now, oud, O-U-D, is specifically found throughout the Fertile Crescent, the Middle East, and this is a very cultural type of incense that is agar wood that is essentially soaked and coated in oils, fragrances, and resins. So it's literally like a type of bark, a type of wood that is fragranced that you are burning on the coals. I am definitely a connoisseur of ouds, but these are my three favorites. Now, all three of these varieties of oud you can get from Amazon. This is red Nabil oud, this is the black Nabil oud, and this is the white Nabil oud. For a lot of my witches or my Sihiras, you may recognize these colors, black, white, red, are often the colors found throughout many different witchcraft practices. And these three colors very much correspond and represent different energetical frequencies. Now, oud is something that is much more potent as a fragrance because it is bark that is soaked in fragrance and oils, and so it is going to cost more than your generic incense or even your hand-dipped incense. And this is because it has a lot more fragrance and it's much more highly concentrated, meaning that you only really need a little bit to go a long way. Typically, coal will burn for about 25 to, I would say, 35 minutes. And a couple pieces of oud are plenty to burn just on that one coal. So these canisters that I just showed you, if you get these, which by the way are also from Amazon, and no, I am not sponsored in any way by Amazon. This is just all happening to come from Amazon. You happen to use any of the oud that I am showing you, you can expect a canister, even with daily use, to last you about a year. Most of these canisters are gonna run you anywhere between, I don't know, $20 or $30 or so. However, you can find very luxurious oud going up in the hundreds or several hundreds of dollars. You can also find oud perfume where it's been made into a liquid that you can wear on your skin. However, I really enjoy wearing it in its smoke form, and especially through working with Jen, practicing Sihr, I feel like it's just kind of more connected to that. And smoke scrying is something that's a part of my practice as well. And so being able to speak with my personal Jen through the smoke and being able to see them through the smoke as they are spirits of smokeless fire is something that I find more beneficial than just simply using an oud perfume that you would just spray. However, I'm not against oud perfume in any way, and I think it has its purposes as well. But when it comes to Sihr and magic and witchcraft, I would rather use the traditional oud that you burn on a bakor. Also, really quick nail cam, I have these kind of like Piscean chromatic lavender purple nails. I got these done because our coven has our Beltane ritual coming up and we're all wearing corresponding colors. And I'm going to be wearing purple, so I figured that this would be nice. I have this really pretty like purple dress. I'll see if I can like link a photo or something here. What do you guys think of this color? It's kind of different. Back to the vampiric powers of scent. Scent is a very powerful thing. Scent is something that is also very much a powerful manipulator of the subconscious mind. Some of you may be able to relate to this, but sometimes if you smell a certain scent, it can actually transport you mentally back to a certain time or to a certain memory. It's a very, very powerful tool, and it is one that I believe is often very much overlooked when it comes to the craft. And like I said, you can look into some aromatherapy and you can find very, benevolent and positive uses, healing uses, and uplifting uses, and blessing uses. And there's so much content on that already, so I don't necessarily want to focus as much on that. However, when I use like my white oud here, this white oud in particular is often an oud that I personally use to connect with the goddess Inanna Ishtar, who is a Mesopotamian baddie who I often incorporate into my practice. This white oud is also an oud that I use to cleanse with. So, instead of cleansing the space through other smoke varieties, I have started using this white oud as a way to cleanse my home, my car, myself, kind of cleanse and clear all of the energetic yuck off of me. And of course, Ishtar Inanna, the Queen of Heavens, I would associate her with this particular oud, and the scent of this oud very much matches her frequency. Also use this white oud here to bless with as well. So to kind of create blessings over whether it be amulets or jewelry, I will use this white oud to kind of birth and activate and bless, as well as cleanse and clear, and work with the frequency of Inanna Ishtar. And this is the white oud, the Nabil brand. As you can see, I've used a lot of this already. This whole canister is typically full. Let me show you what some of this oud actually looks like for those of you who may not know. So it kind of, for people maybe who have never seen oud, it kind of just looks like, So for people who have never seen oud, it kind of looks like little mulch chips because it's bark. It's pieces of agar wood that is soaked in resins. So that's what oud looks like, just these little pieces here. This is also something that was a very fine trade and would often be, kind of seen as equal value to other spices used in culinary, and also even sometimes gold in some regions. That's how luxurious and precious oud has been historically. For those of you who might be familiar with the Mesopotamian baddies, the kind of inverted or flip side to Inanna Ishtar would be Ereshkigal, who is her sister, the kind of queen of the underworld. And so black oud is what I use for Ereshkigal. This is the Nabil brand as well, same as the white oud, same as the red oud. It's on Nabil. This oud is very, very strong, very, very musky. And to me, it very much kind of connects me to the energetic frequency of Ereshkigal. And I use this a lot in baneful work or in conjuring spirits or my personal ancestors. I will also use this as well in protection work, shielding work, guarding work. I will burn this oud. Once again, you can use this oud or any sort of scent, loose incense or anything, to burn on a bakor. You can use the smoke to bless amulets, talismans, yourself, your space. I mean, the possibilities are really endless. You can also use this, like I mentioned earlier, to smoke scry and to see spirits within. So, like the white oud I use for Ishtar Inanna, and this one I use for Ereshkigal, and to scry into the smoke or to speak with these goddesses and have them lend their wisdom and aid to me and to my practice. Of course, with the white and the black oud, we have cleansing and protection, blessing and baneful work. That's what I use these two particular ouds for. Inanna Ishtar, Ereshkigal. If you're interested in kind of hearing more of my perspective on working with these goddesses and these spirits, the Queen of Heaven and the Queen of Hell, please let me know, kind of message me. I'm happy to make some content about that, or you can kind of do your own research if you want as well, and look into these spirits if you feel like they are calling you. The last oud, and one of my personal favorites, and for those of you who have watched my channel for a while, I've talked about Lilith before, and that is what I associate the frequency of this red oud with. To me, this is very sensual, this is very sexual, this is very commanding, this is very domineering. This, to me, is also very much associated with the power of shape-shifting and glamour. And I am incorporating the physical idea of glamour, but I'm also talking about the spiritual aspect of glamour, where we're making something appear as something else, or we're enhancing something's physical, energetic image in someone's mind. I use this to speak and work with Lilith a lot. I use this in smoke scrying, and I also use this in all forms of magic. To me, Lilith, the infernal mother, the mother of abominations, if you will, is a goddess who really speaks to me and who I really resonate with. She is the queen of all that is adversarial. She is the, in my opinion, protector of women and empowerer of women, the liberator, strength. And when I'm looking to tap into my divine feminine power, this is definitely the oud that I'm reaching for. You might be kind of wondering, okay, is it just simply burning the oud? Is all I need to do to light up some charcoal, put it in a bakor, and light some oud? Yes and no. That can be where you choose to stop. These items have an energetic frequency already, so you do not have to contribute to them. However, I encourage you to take it even a step further to make it even more impactful and even more meaningful. And I encourage you to think of your physical vessel as kind of the main ingredient of the spell. So you should be blessing your rings or your jewelry with various ouds. This schedule can look like something that's a once a month thing. Maybe on the full moon, you might, like I do, bless some of your jewelry in the name of Ishtar Inanna, the Queen of Heaven, of cleansing, of blessings. So you can take some of your necklaces, some of your rings, and you can enchant them through the smoke and ask for the spirit to bless and to guide, or vice versa for protection, or to have a ring or an amulet, kind of like the Ring of Solomon, that maybe connects with the spiritual plane and entities, demons, angels, jinn, whatever. You might invoke a Reshkragel for that and bless it through that. You need to create your own invocation. You'll be able to find prayers and invocations to these deities online, but I think it's very important that you make one your own. And it's okay if you find one to use as a blueprint, but you need to make it your own. And you can say that while wafting whatever item you want to use or incorporate over the smoke. Enjoy the red oud a lot, and I feel like all three of these, whether it be Inanna Ishtar, Ereshkigal, Lilith, whatever, I feel like you can find correspondences in all three. I recently sent a friend of mine some red oud because I know that she works with Ishtar a lot, but I know that she's also equally interested in working with Ereshkigal, and I feel like the red oud can be used for both. I mean, Ishtar, the queen of heaven, she's the queen of everything in existence, essentially. She is the queen of the cosmos itself. Everything in creation she is connected to, and vice versa. I feel like the red oud can connect to the wise blood of Ereshkigal, and the blood of the craft, and the blood of the spirits. One of my personal favorite things to do using with oud is if I'm going out to meet up with some friends at like a bar or a restaurant, or even when I'm going to work, I really find that if I burn some oud while I'm getting ready to kind of set my intentions, I feel like it really amplifies my intention for the day. And I also find that the scent of oud is so much more strong and powerful than just simply burning some incense. Burning incense is great, and I use it a lot to make offerings with. However, when it comes to vampiric styles of magic and the influence over perspectives and glamours, I don't find incense to be as powerful as oud. Oud, because it is a wood that is soaked in fragrance, the smoke from it is so much thicker than simply incense, and the smoke sticks to your hair, your skin, your clothing. I remember growing up, my mom would often burn some oud inside of her closet, so that way all of her clothes would be scented with this very strong fragrance. And this is something that many queens throughout the Fertile Crescent and noble women and sultanas would do oftentimes, because they also recognize the power of scent and how it can influence the human mind and its perspectives of you and your energy. So I encourage you to think about how you would like to influence the minds and perspectives of others around you. I encourage you to think about that, and I encourage you to think about what sort of sense you personally associate with these different elements, whether it be power, fame, wealth and money, good health, protection and cleansing, love, lust, intimidation, domination. Think about these aspects and what sort of fragrances and scents you can associate with these energetic frequencies. And then take those, and you could even make your own loose incense out of herbs if you so chose to. And I would be happy to share some of my personal blends if you're interested in that as well. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I burn the oud as I am getting ready and what exactly I do with it. These are charcoals, and as you can see in this package, I'm down to like my last one. I believe you can get this brand also on Amazon or probably from a lot of hookah bars near you, but I would take the tweezers and hold the charcoal like this. Now, some people will burn their oud this way and put the charcoal like this. I actually like to burn it this way. So when you're lighting your charcoal, you want to kind of light this side of it, the side that has the lip. I like to light it this way because I feel like the lip kind of holds things in there better, so that way they don't fall off. Like how this is kind of dome shaped, sometimes the oud will slide off either direction. So I would burn it face up this way, using the lip to kind of help you. Then once you light your charcoal, you can just place your oud on top of it inside of the Bakor or whatever device that you are using. I'm going to use some of my Lilith oud or my red oud. I have a little bit of charcoal left that's still lit from when I got ready this morning. So I'm going to just place some oud on top of that. I'm not going to burn a whole new charcoal disc. So you can see how it's kind of smoking. So now you can put your lid back on. And then I would kind of waft it and blow it. So that way it really gets to smoking. Now, oftentimes while I'm doing my hair or my makeup, I will actually put this on the floor near where I'm sitting, so that way all of the smoke rises up and really gets into my aura, gets onto my skin, my hair, the clothing that I'm wearing for the day. But I will also just kind of waft my hair over my Bakor. And this is kind of one of the benefits of using an actual Bakor versus just using a sensor that I showed you earlier, is that it does have a lid. So if you are wanting to kind of incorporate some of this scent into your hair, because hair is a very powerful spiritual thing as well. And so the smoke is going to get into your tresses and it's going to scent it. That way, when you walk into a room, people are going to smell the scent of this. And for those of you who maybe have sat around a bonfire, you know that like really smoky, woodsy, earthy scent a bonfire has. And so when you use oud on top of a charcoal disc, as opposed to an electric burner, it has that really rich, earthy, woodsy sort of smell. And then it's gonna be scented with whatever style of oud you are using, whether it be floral or musky or fruity or whatever. So I would recommend kind of like letting some of the oud burn and smoke into your hair. This can be like a smoke cleansing, a smoke blessing, but really let your hair kind of like soak up all of that scent. You can also let the smoke rise up through your clothing. So if you're wearing like a looser shirt or a caftan or a cardigan, you can kind of place it underneath, you know, and be mindful and be careful because this Bakor can get hot, but allow it to kind of rise up through your clothing. And this will scent not only your skin, but your clothing as well. And this is a very, very powerful, simple, easy technique to glamour, to manifest, to cleanse, to protect, and to influence the perspective of others. So I hope that you all have enjoyed kind of my 2 cents on scent used in witchcraft and how I personally use it in witchcraft. If you'd like to see more on this topic, please let me know. And I hope that you all have enjoyed it. If you get any of these Nabil ouds that I showed in this video, or this Bakor, or the other colors it comes in, let me know, and let me know what you think of the oud that you choose to get. Until next time, you guys, blessed be. I hope you all are well, and I'll see you in hell.